here we are for episode 3 of Let's Make an Adventure. I just wanted to check my audio to make sure I wasn't muted again. I had started the last one muted, which killed about, I don't know, an hour's worth of work, which I had to redo. Building up, the map that you see before you, the warehouse encounter. So the next step is the players have gone ahead and found Durkirk, who unfortunately perished in a trap that was set for him. They will be taking him on over to the Temple to Moradin, where he will either be have a Speak with Dead ritual cast on him or Raise Dead. I haven't really decided yet. Which will allow him to provide some exposition to the players, describing a bit of what's going on, at least as far as what Durkirk knows, and also leading them to the next part of the adventure. They will find out that hidden in the catacombs of the Stone Anvil temple is a sepulcher, which not even the high-ups within the temple are allowed to go, but I guess visitors with blessings are allowed to for some reason. For whatever case, within this sepulcher is a portal, which will bring them on over to the Mountain Root Temple, where the next part and kind of the meat of the adventure is located. They'll learn of some plots against the city itself, and eventually be embroiled in an overall siege of the city, although that will be a fair bit later. So to begin with, we need to set up the encounter with the sepulcher. It's basically a skill challenge to show how well the players know the mythos of Moradin, and if they should fail, they will be attacked by some guardians and then are able to kind of force themselves through the portal to get on over to the mountain route. So as before, I've set up the map in advance, where I've gotten rid of the things that I don't want, and I will be importing that into map tools. In fact, we'll go ahead and do that now. So new map, set the background to black. And let's get the map on over, and it is C10, and I believe that's good. Okay, so that's the map. So first thing we need to do is there's actually some vision blocking I need to do around. This is the entrance into the sepulcher from the Temple of Moradin, and then the portal is right here. There's bright light. As soon as they enter the room, these kind of candelabras flare to life, so I'll be adding in light. Actually, I'll probably just make the whole map daytime, come to think of it, since I don't need to worry about I won't need to worry about light sources, and I don't need to worry about it affecting any other maps than this one. So let's get the vision blocking going to begin with. So, and as before, it's just a matter of drawing some blue lines around. So we'll keep things to where there's a good thick wall, which will sell the fact that this is in a dwarven chamber for its tomb. They're going to have real thick walls to keep out intruders and just general defense-y dwarviness. And I already had to pull the markers for the guardians that may appear off the map, and I'll be adding those in on the hidden layer. So that I can pop them out in case the players should fail. Let me see. This is basically a lowered area with kind of various tombs and where I guess dwarves are hidden, ramps going up. We have the candelabras here, and I'll have to take a look and see where it is exactly that the guardians appear. It's actually not these statues, so not every statue is actually going to come to life in every adventure ever. These are just statues to Moradin. They've actually got a raven representing the Dark Queen. I don't remember her name right off the bat. It's in the adventure. But even though they may look forbidding, the Queen of Death. Even though they may look forbidding, they're actually not part of the encounter at all. So these parts here, these W's, are where the guardians appear. How many guardians appear depend on how the PCs do in that skill challenge. If they absolutely fail it, there'll be up to 5, and it can be anywhere from 2 to 5 depending on how many successes they have. So the guardians themselves are basically writhing chains, which I guess is a construct of chains. So I think I'll want to represent those. I don't know, something inanimate. I'll find something here. Set my map over to the other side. Let's see what we have. I know over in... I mean, objects will have chains, but I do prefer Torsen stuff if it's available. And I think he had something. I could always make it animated tapestries and rugs, which will set my players to a huge fit. So yeah, so we have like these manacles I could use. Let's get on over to the token or hidden layer. If I drag them over, that just puts them at normal size. We'll put them over to token and then move them to hidden. That way they're on. Oh, that's right. I gotta set the grid. So let's go ahead and do that. Map, adjust grid. And you can see that the grid is much bigger. And of course the grid sets the scale for everything. So, and that looks about right. Alright, so that's done. Now let's drag these over to the hidden. So yeah, they're there. They don't really pop very well, so we'll see what happens if we make them a little bit bigger. That's probably too big. See if we make them large. There's those, but I'm really looking more for like a circle of chains. So I may be trying out one of the other areas where I have my objects. Yeah, let's take a look, see if there's anything in objects that that seems to match with what I'm looking for. Items, chains. Okay, so I might have something here. See if there's something substantial. I'm looking for like a balled up roll of chain or something. Let's drag this over and see how that looks. Those aren't bad. What else is there? Like that. Let's see if there's a roll of chain around here somewhere. I don't want any of them that are attached to a wall or anything like that, because they're actually mobile. I can do that. They're at least thicker. I think so far I like the manacles. I like the idea that they have little kind of graspers, even though they're just kind of floating in air. So I may stick with that. Make sure there's not anything else neat that would work for what I'm really looking for. Punishment? Nope, no chains there. Oh, they have different types of punishments. Of course, why not? Really should have lots of different types of punishments. Don't know what a gibbet is. That's kind of neat. Kind of looks like a whirling, spiky ball thing of chains where it kind of spin around and attack. They have some sort of like grab move. So maybe I'll just use that. We'll stick with that. It's a bit more. Maybe I'll use the two of them together. Kind of alternate them. So that looks menacing enough and somewhat dwarfy. Let's take a look at the map and see where they're gonna be. I gotta make this bigger so I can see it better. That might have been too big. Okay. Come on, scroll. Okay, so we got one down there. And so one here, which is right behind that. Where'd it go? There it is. Move that back over so I can see it. One next to him, kind of here. Ba 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 ba. over here, right about there. One over here, right about there. And then the other one that's down here. So that's that. We gotta make sure we change the vision to day. That way the whole map will be lit. And so that's those set. And then we need to find some light sources, which I know he has here. There we are. They're basically hanging lanterns. Kind of just hanging from the ceiling. Those are going to be over just on the... Actually, I'll put them in the object layer. Not that big. Let's see, right about there. Is about right? Yeah. Copy that a couple times. It actually had these kind of candelabras drawn on the map already, and I probably should have just left them. There's no... I thought they might have been part of the encounter when I first read through it, so I thought I had to erase them and then draw them in, bring them in for the players, but wasn't the case. So yeah, these guys are on the hidden layer. Let's see what kind of hit points they're rolling around with. They are 65 hit points. Bring those on in. And I might go ahead and add kind of an initiative to these guys and roll initiative before the fight begins. Because I've noticed if I have any large battles, I spend a large amount of time just kind of sitting there rolling while the players are just hanging around. Ooh, not 655, that's a bit more than what they would want. Okay. I gotta remember how to do that. Is it in properties? Campaign properties? Token properties. Basic? Yeah. So, pound. Initiative. And that should then allow me to basically do... No, it isn't doing that there. Did I not save it? Is there a save button I missed? Let's see. Campaign properties, basic. No, I didn't save it. That's I gotta update it. Okay. Pound initiative 0. That just sets kind of the base setting. And update. And it should be there now. Let's take a look at the creature, and yeah, there's initiative. So now I can kind of pre-roll initiative and see. Let's grab my dice here. Wait. Oh, there we are. My dice have their very own pocket in my backpack. I just need a D20 for this one. Where are they at? Where's my D20? There we are. Alrighty. My good friend Chip had given me a set of like super balanced dice, which are supposedly scientifically measured and proven to be completely random. But unfortunately, because they don't have any paint on them, they're also incredibly hard to read. So I don't actually use them all that often. So you see, these guys have a +10 initiative, so let's get to rolling. So 25 for him. Now what I have to see is we use that initiative module, so maybe there's a way I can just auto kind of populate it with this. That'd be nice. But at the very least, I should be able to just double click on them and check, so it's still reasonably quick. 16. The other nice thing about doing it in advance is the players don't have an inkling on exactly how many creatures they may be facing. Since, no, I rolled a 1 on that. You know, if I'm rolling a million dice, then they're pretty sure it's a fairly hefty encounter. Although I do try to throw them for a loop where, if it's like 4 creatures, I'll roll like 7 times, just to scare them a little bit, because screwing with your players is the best part of being a DM. So double check vision. Nothing else really should be blocked. It's 10-foot difference between here and here, but they start out above, so I don't think I'll have any vision blocking here. There's really nothing to block. It's a fairly simple encounter, especially if they go ahead and just pass that skill check. Then none of this actually even comes into play. So that's that one. Very simple. Very, very simple encounter. Next part is going to be the beginning of the kind of the main map that we'll be working with, and you'll see that in a second here. So background black, map, file system, MT, and bam, there we are. The Mountain Root Temple itself. This is kind of the big hoodoo where they progress through it, kind of the main dungeon-ish kind of area of the map. So let's go ahead and set the grid. Alright, and we may have to close that and zoom in a fair bit more just so we can get a better idea if we're lining up at all or not. Now, on these big maps, a lot of times you'll line up one area and then other parts of the map don't actually line up, which is annoying. I'm not really sure why. If they're all squares and evenly sized, it should line up. Let's see, I'm right in between like 2 of them. Let's see. Can I actually do decimals here? Ooh, I can, I think. Oh no, it's just going right back down. No, okay. So I think 11's about as close as I can get. Doesn't really line up very well. But for the most part, we don't use the grid by the players. The grid's really well laid out on these maps. So I'm just using it to set size more than anything else. So it also affects movement, since it kind of counts out the amount of feet that you can do. Although we usually just count squares anyway, so again, it doesn't really matter that much. Alright, so there's that. Vision for this map, it's going to be night. It's going to be dark all the way through unless there's specific points of light. And the rooms themselves, they'll say, this room is brightly lit, this room is not lit at all, that sort of thing. I kind of let my players slide on lighting. I basically just gave them all a light source that we don't even really pay attention to, as far as if it's in the hand or not, or are they dual wielding but holding a torch as well. So we kind of let them slide a bit on that. So this is map 1, which is just where they start out in. I'm just looking through the scene to see if there's anything crazy. I know there's a couple creatures here, basically some harpies, and oh wait, that's the vault. What's in here? Yeah, 2 harpies and 2 slystone dwarf ruffians, which I guess are like stealthy dwarfs, of all things. So they enter in. What side are they? I assume they're entering in right here, but they might be entering in the center here. It's a gray stone wall, chamber, numerous doorways, a platform with multiple stairs stands near the chamber center, presumably for let's see if it mentions here. Okay, so are those raised up? Okay, so those are raised up. Do they even show that on the map? They do. Okay, so raised up. Why are those raised up like that? I guess just because that's how the dwarves wanted it. The southeast door, the southwest door through which the PCs entered. Southwest here? southwest door through which pieces and the western door are the surviving magical portals. Oh. So those aren't actually doors, those are portals. So I need to kind of cover up the doors with what I use for portals. The southeast door, the southwest door. And the western door. What about the center door? Did I mention that? If PCs open the door through which they enter, they see the sepulchre, but of course they can no longer reach it if they open one of the other two. So they can see stuff, but they don't actually okay. So well, basically the PCs are supposed to go this way. Well, where's that go? Because that looks like a portal as well. Never eat soggy Wheaties, so that's a portal. That's a portal. That's a portal to the sepulchre. That's a portal. And let's take a look at here. And then this goes up to here. But that one's a portal as well? I mean, I assume they're probably not supposed to go from map 1 to map 6. They should be, you know, traversing through this kind of area. Well, no, they have to, because there's no place to go from there. So yeah, this is all just kind of explorable area. Oh, there's a door there. Okay. Let's take a look. See if there's more information on this. No. Map 1. Map 6. Because that's where it goes next. Scroll through there. Doesn't really talk about how they're entering it. Okay, let's scroll up to the actual adventure text. Stone Anvil, Shrine, Arathis. Okay. So there's the encounter with Durkirk, back to the Stone Anvil. And here's the map 1. Numerous doors will lead to other connected temples and deeper into the mountain route. The vault is multi-level. It contains storage for valuables behind heavy portcullises. That's map 5, which is right there. Okay. Now what's map 6? 5. Yes. If they question people, there's normal center of the room served as a heart. I guess that's just a regular old doorway they can walk through. Okay. So, first things first, some vision. Let us see. Start map or blocking this out. Now you'll notice that because overall this is a huge area, but with a relatively small map to work with as far as like the actual size of the picture that I used, like the vision blocking tool is actually quite large in here, so I don't have as quite a fine detail. So it's better to work with a larger picture of the dungeon if you can, but what they'd like to do is just do an overall of the dungeon, and then, which is what I used here, and then break up the different battle rooms into bigger pictures to be used. And so I guess conceivably I could try to stitch all those little battle rooms together to make one kind of flowing map. But I know from experience when you try to do that, you run into serious issues with the grid and things lining up and scale and all that. So it's just easier to use the larger picture, even though it's not quite as good a solution. So I have this door here, but the players, if they're walking over here, won't see it at all. So I'm going to have to basically place a door object right here just so that they know that it's there. I guess I can move that vision blocking line over a touch as well. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll erase this. Move the line on over. That's not ideal, but this should work. Alright. This is kind of a pain to block out, just because it's a fairly complicated room to begin with, and then it has this whole kind of destroyed section. So it's not just a basic block, which is, of course, where things are much easier when you can just draw squares everywhere. So, draw on some vision. Kind of a caved-in section here. There's a lot of that in this map, so I expect I'll be moaning about it quite a bit. So, and on like rough wall sections, you actually don't have to be very precise with it, with following the curvature. So it actually looks more cave wall-y, or cave wall-ish, I guess maybe would be the term, if the vision kind of extends here and there a bit. So we go back into the dwarven area. So I don't know why they would have like a finished hallway and then that goes into like some sort of cave-in, but you know, I didn't draw it. I just use it. Okay. So this is kind of a huge set piece of the dungeon. I'm wondering if I should just force my players to go through this. Because I mean, the only exit out of here is into here. So they would have kind of some exploration through here, realize that this is just caved in, walled off area, not anything interesting. Come up through here, do the different encounters and adventures through here and find what they find. Then move on over into here. And here. And then up to here. It does make the map pretty linear, though. And that they're kind of just forced into this direction rather than being able to explore where they want. So let's go ahead and that's tight. Still, it's a pretty interesting area. And players do need XP because they need to be level 11 by the time this is done, so I don't really want them to skip encounters. So that way they have a chance to get some levels in. Make sure that lines up. And of course, more walls that do weird, crazy things here. And I think this was some sort of treasury room as well. I was glancing through. So, and who doesn't want some treasure? The thing is, once they get to a certain point in this area, they kind of learn about the whole attack on Punjar, and you know, things are set in motion to where that attack is going to happen, so they won't have a chance to backtrack and explore. You know, if it was where they can go and kind of, you know, get to a point and then actually have the choice to go back, then I probably wouldn't block this off. I'd give them that choice. But since, you know, kind of the story arc chooses for them once they reach a certain point, I don't want to deny them the area and the experience of this area without that being their choice to skip it. So instead, I'll force them to do it. So, plus, you know, taking all the time to make the place, least I can do is, you know, make its used. There's actually a lot of areas that I've created where they actually, the players just run past it, skip past it, don't even see it. You know, and you know, you put all the time into kind of making the map that's one of the ways in which a map tools like this falls short compared to just drawing the map as you go, on a table map or tabletop battle map or something like that. And that you prepare and do things for the adventure that just flat out may never be used. So, and for my next session, I expect my players will most likely be going through that whole skill challenge with the portcullis or with the portal, and then kind of there's a combat in this first room. I don't really expect them to get much further than that. So, alright, so that's vision taken care of for kind of the next couple days. We'll add this room in as well. The next couple, adventure times that we do. Which, speaking of, we are really up in the air on when we're going to fit things in. With my new job, I'm basically putting a lot of stress on my family, especially with the way my wife's work schedule works out. So we probably won't be doing Wednesday nights. We'll probably continue with Saturdays, but unfortunately Misha's job, even though he's requested mornings, is working him in the evenings on Saturdays. So we got to figure out if they just decide that they want to stop doing that or if we need to do something more. I need to find some harpies. And I don't remember seeing much in the way of harpies before. So I need to either find something to represent them. I'm sure I have the tokens if I go on over here to tokens and then look at H for harpy. Come on, you catch up. Yeah, so I have the harpies here. On the map. I need to go over to the drawing token. So I have that. So that's not awful. I prefer to use kind of the hand-drawn stuff when I can. But sometimes you just don't have it available. And there's some amazing character packs out there. But since, in some cases, some creatures, you're literally just using them once. And a lot of the the monster packs and stuff like that you have to pay for. I haven't done anything like that. Plus, I was unemployed for a really long time, which isn't conducive to spending extra money on things that aren't essential, like eating and food, and electricity and stuff. Although, of course, my internet is considered an essential as well. So, anything else that looks, it's not going to be here, squid, tomfolk, water creatures, so. Alright, so, harpy it is. Let's take a look. I know there's going to be 2 of them. Where are they at? We gotta scroll down to the battle map. Where's the page up on this keyboard? There it is. 10, 9, 6, 5, 1. Okay, so there's one hanging out over here, one over here, a dwarf that's hiding over here, and one that the players see pretty much right away, right there. So you over here. Let's copy you, bring you over here. Let's get a couple dwarves. Those I know are over here. There are dwarves. What looks relatively sneaky. Let's see, he's got a crossbow. What are these dwarves using? They are using a hammer. Okay, so we gotta find a dwarf with a hammer. I'm pretty sure that's not a hard thing to try to find. Yep. Case in point, dwarf with hammer. There's sneaky dwarf. It isn't showing that he's wielding anything, but I'm sure it's something malicious and awful. So this dwarf is here. so harpy, harpy, dwarf, dwarf. No problem. Let's put in the hit points. So the harpies are basically 48. And there. And there. The dwarfs are 52. Oop, that's not what I want. There. There. Alright, so initiative for the dwarfs. I see plus 12 on those guys, so 16 for this one. 16. This one plus 12 is going to be 27. The harpies are plus 7. So 8 and 7 is 15. And the other harpy is 12. Okay. And let's see how this room is lit. Illumination. Chamber is brightly lit by fires carved into the 2 reliefs and the statue, which glow with the magical light. So, in the passage of each, there's not much else. Okay, so let's see. The reliefs show scenes of the dwarf. Where the hell are the reliefs? Okay. Perched in the archways on the top of the undamaged relief, a pair of fall harpies with red hair. Okay, so that's one of the relief. Okay, so these are supposed to be the reliefs. Apparently there's some sort of magic fire built into them, and then there's something in the statue as well. So that's all well and good. Doesn't really matter because I don't really like to put light sources to where players can see them, so I just throw some on the invisible layer about where they should be. That way they're there. It's pretty easy for me to tell that those are basically just lights. And I'll do 60, 60. Light source 60. Okay, so basically those guys are casting light within 60 feet, but since this is blocked off, this will still actually be dark. So the players will only be able to see what they can see from their own light sources. So there's that. Then we gotta add in some portals. Now I know from previous adventures that I actually like taking an object, and what did I use? Where were they at? Was it these? Yeah, those would be good because you can kind of see through them. Alright. Oh, not on the hidden layer. We need to put these on the object layer. So yeah, I take some sort of globe, and I basically make it really fat and thingy. So that kind of gives the impression of it being like a round portal that you can see through a bit. So we'll copy that one there. And this one will be to some exotic fiery location that they can see through. Because remember, I wanted to block that off so players didn't try to go through there. And then there's door here, door here. There's going to be another portal there. That's to the sepulcher that they just came out of, so we'll just do something that's kind of grayish looking. So yeah, that's the portal they, wait, no, the portal they come out of is supposed to be that one, is it? To the west, they said? Never eat soggy Wheaties. So, I'm gonna say they come out of here. This seems more reasonable. I don't know why it would have stairs and all that there anyways. So let's make this one. These are actually pretty cool little objects here. That's right, I've got to turn this. I wonder if I can't rotate. Oh yeah, set face. Forget it. Yeah, I can rotate them. Of course I can. So we want the grass part to be on the bottom. So that's there. There. Now, I mean, as part of exploration, I can always take and put doors there. And then when they open the door, they see that, which means I'll need to adjust my vision to come like that around it. That might be kind of neat. And give the players kind of a bit of a something to explore and look at and to kind of figure out this is a portal room rather than just slapping them in the face with it right off the bat. So that's something to talk about and discuss, hey, what the heck is going on here? So we'll do that. So that means I gotta change my vision a bit. So I can still want to keep the vision blocking here. That way they don't see it right off the bat. And move these outside of the vision blocking so that they don't poke through. Okay. So that'll work. And then vision, whoop, that one's kind of too close. So let's bring this one down a touch. Or too far away. Okay, so vision. I don't want to block the scene. We'll see if this works the way that I think it will. Okay. So again, kind of a, neat little visual thing you can do with the map tools, as long as you're kind of creative with your use of what the things they have at hand. Let's move this one over just a touch. And I guess I'll have these doors open to begin with, since they're basically walking through it. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So that's those blocked off. We got to get some doors in here. I'm sure they're nice sturdy dwarf doors. So probably the stone doors. I need to get off of vision and go to make them nice and thick. That way they're easier to block around as well. Might be a little bit overdone there. There we are. So Control C, Control V. Pair of double doors for them to see. Gotta figure out what portal sounds like, because Misha will likely go up to the door and listen at it. Maybe I'll just mess with them a little bit and tell them, you know, they hear the ocean or something. Miss these ones here. Couple doors right here. Right here. And vision is blocking that, right? Yep. Okay, yeah, going across that door, and the other one. Is that a hole in the vision layer? No, okay, just a little anomaly. I think it is. Draw it across just to be sure. Yep. Alright. And then I already have the vision blocking there, so let's just add the door right here. And if the players do actually get to here, then... Oh, I don't want that on the token layer. I want that on the object layer. Let's make that door a little bit smaller so it's not bigger than the hallway. Unfortunately, the color of those doors, they kind of blend in a bit, so I'll have to point them out to the players. So, and they'll know what to look for after that. Oh, I gotta block out these areas because you can't see around those. It's big old pieces of rubble. So, alrighty. There we are. So those are blocked off. Anything on the little the eastern portion of the room, larger damage. You are in a greystone wall chamber, numerous doorways, many of which can a platform, multiple stairs stands near the chamber center, presumably for a ceremonial. So this is really not doing anything. Okay, and I think that is that. Let's go ahead. We've got our creatures, we've got vision, we've got the doors, we've got the portal set up. Let's go ahead and save the campaign. And then we will continue on with this at a later date. So I'm going to wrap things up here. I'll try to have some sort of post or something to show when our next game is, so that we guys have at least some sort of warning. So if you follow me on the Twitter or Facebook or whatnot, you should see at least some sort of warning here as soon as I figure out what's actually going on. So, thank you for joining me and watching, and I will see you guys next time.